In today's episode, I want to give you 4 reasons why I consider English pronunciation hard. And most importantly, I want to give you some tips to take your pronunciation to the next level. So let's get started. Hey guys, how's it going? Thiago here, and welcome to another episode of the podcast. So, reason number 1, I would say English pronunciation is hard because of the number of accents out there, both native accents and non-native accents that speak the English language. First of all, let's just focus on the countries in the world that speak English as a first language. We have the US, Canada, England, Scotland, Ireland, Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, and I might be missing more, but you see, there are quite a handful of countries that speak English as their first language. And each one of these countries and nationalities have their own peculiar way of sounding in English, quote unquote, their own accents. And when you think about non-native speakers of English in the world, the number is 5 times or even more higher. So you have people speaking English with a Brazilian accent, speaking English with an Italian accent, French accent, Chinese accent, German accent, Indian accent. All these are different variations of the same language in the way the language sounds. So this richness of accents, while on one hand I think is a positive thing because it adds variety to the language, it can also be a challenge because certain accents might be easier to understand than others. So, what can you do in this case to fix that or to tackle the situation? Well, first of all, I would recommend as a learner for you to pick just one accent of native English and make it your reference. Make this one accent your foundation. So develop a strong affinity with that standard native accent of English. Once you do that, then you can start branching out to other accents and gaining exposure to different accents. This is exactly what I've done in my life as an English learner and speaker. I've always had standard American English as my accent of reference. Over the years, I have developed a very strong affinity with standard American English. When I mean standard, I mean the type of English that you hear in news programs like CNN and also in some Hollywood movies, that type of English. So I've developed a very strong affinity with this accent. Nowadays, when I listen to different accents, I always compare them to my accent of reference. So I believe that it's really important for you to have an accent of reference that is native, a native accent of reference. Now, I have gotten this question before in previous episodes. People ask me, Thiago, I work with Indian people, and for me, it's really hard to understand them. What can I do? Or I work with Chinese people. It's really hard to understand them. What can I do? Well, in this case, what I have to say to you is just be patient. Be patient and trust that with time, the more you interact with these speakers, the more you talk to them, the easier it gets. Because I view our ears almost like a radio, meaning that if you listen to a certain type of English that you are used to, it's like your ears are tuned in that specific accent or that specific sound. But if you hear somebody speaking English in a completely different way, with a completely different accent, at first, your ears, just like a radio, your ears will struggle to find the right station, let's say. So maybe in the first months interacting with this person, your ear is going to be like the radio, like shh, trying to find the right station. But with time, the more you interact with these speakers and the more you listen to these different accents, um, the more your ear starts to adapt and become accustomed to those accents. And then you can start understanding those people more often. So if you work with different nationalities that maybe have a very strong accent or a very different accent from what you are used to, just be patient and trust that with time, it gets easier. And at the end of the day, you are talking to people. So you can always ask the person to clarify whatever they said, to repeat, to say it again. It's not a problem. And then for sure, you will find a way to communicate and understand each other. Okay? The second reason why I believe English pronunciation is particularly hard has to do with the fact that the English language is not a phonetic language. What I mean by this is that there isn't a direct correlation between how the words in English are written with how they are supposed to sound. As a matter of fact, most of the time, the words in English are written one way and they sound a very different way. Just to give an example, let's pick the ending OUGH in English. That combination there sounds different depending on the word. So for example, you have the word thought. So here, this combination sounds ah. But then you have the word though. Now it sounds oh. And then you have through. Now you have a oo sound. You see, so there isn't any logic or rationale behind this because English is not a phonetic language. That can make pronunciation challenging because you cannot trust your eyes. You cannot trust what you read. When it comes to English, guys, and pronunciation, you should trust your ears. That's the challenge. You trust your ears. It's all about how the words sound. And then you have to memorize that sound, combine that sound with that word and how it's spelled, and there you go. So English is much more about the sounds, much more about hearing it than what you see visually on paper when the words are written down. So that's another reason that makes English pronunciation hard. Well, the way to fix that, I would say, by focusing more on listening to English. A great way for you to do that is listening to English while reading a transcript at the same time. Nowadays, it's very easy for you to find YouTube videos, podcasts that offer you the audio version or even the video version and a downloadable transcript or an interactive transcript that you can read along. And then you can listen and read along. So your brain can compare how the words sound with how they are written. So this is a great exercise that you can do and implement to improve that, okay? Listen while reading to the transcript at the same time. Music is also great for that. You can pull up the lyrics to a song. You can listen to the song. The singer is singing the song, and you are reading along. You are following along with the lyrics, okay? Now, reason number 3 why English pronunciation is hard is because of individual sounds. There are some sounds in English that might not exist, probably will not exist in your native language. Because of that, it's almost like you have to reconfigure the way you speak in order to learn English pronunciation properly. Maybe there are certain muscles of articulation that need to be activated to make a certain sound in English that you've never activated. You've never used those muscles, those articulators in your native language. It's similar to stretching. Stretching? Imagine you are 40 years old and you have never stretched in your life. Then you decide to take a yoga class. Are you going to be super flexible? No. You're going to realize that your body is not as flexible as it could and should be. You might struggle to make some yoga positions, some movements, because for the past 40 years, you haven't stretched. But here's the point. Just because you are starting late doesn't mean that you can't build flexibility in your body with time and practice. The same thing applies to your mouth, your tongue, your muscles of articulation. In English pronunciation, maybe you have spent years moving your mouth a certain way when speaking your native language. Now that you are learning English, you realize that in order for you to produce the sounds the English language requires of you, you will need to stretch your mouth, your tongue, your articulators differently. And that takes time. Again, it's like you are resetting the way you speak. You are reconfiguring how you speak. In many ways, learning a second or third or fourth language, in my view, is like learning to speak again, because each language has their own peculiarities. Okay? So what I recommend in this case is study, formally take time to study English pronunciation, learn the sounds, the main sounds of the English language, and practice producing them. At first, you might struggle with the production, but if you keep practicing, just like stretching and exercise, you become more flexible. Your muscles of articulation will get better. And it will become easier and easier over time for you to produce certain sounds in English. Finally, reason number 4 has to do with connected speech. Connected speech is all about how native speakers cut, reduce, and join some sounds in sentences. When you have a sentence in front of you, you shouldn't pronounce that sentence word for word. You should know where to cut certain sounds, where to join certain sounds so you can speak that sentence with more flow. And that's what makes you sound more fluent. Having this knowledge will also help you better understand, especially native speakers, when they speak fast, in movies, in series, in podcasts, and so on. For example, let's pick the phrase or the question, what are you doing? What are you doing? Many times in American movies, you hear people going, what you doing? Hey, what you doing? What you doing? So what are you gets reduced to whatcha, whatcha, whatcha. That's it. So what are you becomes whatcha, and then doing. Hey, what you doing? What you doing? So learning these patterns, how to apply them is crucial to develop yourself as an English speaker if you really want to improve your accent, pronunciation, and fluency. Okay? So what is the recommendation here? Deliberately and formally learn about connected speech. There are patterns that are repeated over and over again in native English. And if you become familiar with these patterns and if you practice them, the beneficial is twofold because your listening skills will get better and also your speaking skills will get better. You will sound more fluid. And that's exactly why, guys, I have created my pronunciation course. I have a course that teaches you the main sounds of the English language on an individual level. Sounds like the letters L, M, N, the letter S, Z, okay? And also connected speech, the main patterns that you hear all the time in connected speech. So if you want to learn more about the course, the link is here in the description of the video, in the pinned comment below. And if you are on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, you can find the link in the show notes. So I want to invite you to check out the course. It's a great course. And with one payment, you own the material for life. So the course doesn't expire. So do check it out. I think it will be very beneficial for you. Okay? So guys, there you go. These are the 4 reasons why I believe English pronunciation is hard. So even though it is hard, it is tricky, it is not impossible to improve if you put the time, energy, and dedication to do so. Okay? Now, before we close the episode, it's time for the Learner's Corner segment. That's the newest segment here on the episode where I feature one of your comments, questions, and stories. So for today's episode, I have here a very nice comment that Daniel or Danielle left on one of my videos here on YouTube recently. I believe it's Danielle Kubidis, right? 5170. Check it out. Man, you keep outdoing yourself with every single video you post. I've already detected your frequency of releasing every other day, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Good job. So I'm always hoping to listen to more of your trailblazing experiences about the language. Nice word. Trailblazing experiences. So if you call something trailblazing, you mean that that's unique. It's different from everything else that you have seen before. So, very nice word, very advanced word. Your final catchphrase at the end of them is music for my ears. Okay? Music to my ears. Okay? Music to my ears. You're doing God's work with the service you provide to all non-native speakers around the world who usually see your content. I bet you will have reached 100,000 subscribers before New Year's, and I'm proud of having you as my unofficial teacher, LOL. Hats off to you, man. You rock. Daniel, thank you so much for the wonderful comment, for the support. Comments like these warm my heart, and they give me the motivation, the energy to keep producing content for you guys here on the channel, on Spotify, week after week. I gotta tell you guys, being a YouTuber is not easy. You know, people might think that, oh, it's, of course, there is some glamour to it, like, oh, you work from home and you work on YouTube and that kind of stuff. Yeah, it's amazing. I'm not complaining. But guys, it's not easy. So it's really cool to have comments like yours, Daniel, that, are encouraging and positive. And, it's great to see the impact that, the videos are having on you and other learners. Okay. But now, guys, let me tell you how you can submit your message. So if you want to send me an audio message, a voice message with a question, a comment, a story, or an email, you can do so in two ways. So to send me a voice message, you can go to speakpipe.com/EnglishWithThiago. That is speakpipe.com/EnglishWithThiago. The links will be here in the description of the video and in the show notes. Or if you prefer, you can send me an email. And you can write me an email at hello.teacherthiago@gmail.com. That's hello.teacherthiago, Thiago with TH, okay? We spell it with THIAGO @gmail.com. Again, send me your question about English, send me your story, send me your experiences, maybe a comment that you have. And every week, every episode, I'm going to be selecting the best comments, the best questions, and highlighting and featuring them here on the podcast, on the show. Guys, thank you so much for listening to today's episode. I'm Thiago, I'm signing off, and I'll be talking to you very soon in the upcoming video. Oh, but before I let you go, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like this video, leave a comment, share the channel with your friends and family, and if you're on Spotify, don't forget to leave me that great 5-star review, okay? Now, yes, I'm signing off, and I'll be talking to you very soon in the upcoming episode. Bye-bye.